Hello everyone, and welcome back to the garage. In this video, we're going to start part 3 of the restoration series on this Bally Flip Flop pinball machine. In part 2, we got all the rest of the mechanical issues solved. So in this video, we're going to be doing the playfield and the cabinet restoration. So let's get started. So here's what this machine's playfield looks like before I've done any work to it at all. The only thing I've done so far is rebuild the flippers, so I cleaned up the flipper bats, but everything else has been untouched so far. So we are now ready to tackle the playfield on this machine. So we're going to do this the usual way. We're going to take all the pieces off the playfield and clean them up. I'm going to be replacing all of the cracked and dirty rubbers with new ones and upgrading this machine to nice and bright, warm white LEDs. And another thing I'll be doing once we put the playfield back together is I'm going to be replacing some of the posts because these posts here are the wrong type. It's supposed to just have regular white jeweled posts here instead of these red ones, and I see on this slingshot that this post is taller than this one, so I don't think this one's the correct size. The posts up here are cracked, there's a missing one here, and then there's a little metal piece that's missing that goes between these two pieces of the wood, so I'm going to be replacing all of that. So let's go ahead and disassemble this playfield. So I've gotten most of the playfield apart, as you can see. Definitely needs a cleanup. And I've seen this before, but you can get a better look at it now. Doesn't that look like it's been repainted around the bumpers and down here? Looks like someone took a little bit darker of a color and repainted the playfield, so maybe this playfield was in worse shape when the previous owner had it. But what I want to do now is take off the mushroom bumpers because they have rubbers underneath them. And I want to remove this entire flag assembly because it looks like it's just held on by a few screws. So the mushroom bumpers are held in with these two massive nuts. And for the flag assembly, it looks like there's just 3 screws on each side of the metal assembly here. And I think I can take this whole thing just out because all the wiring is connected to a single Jones plug over here. So I'm going to see if that is possible. Yep, and that pulls the mushroom bumper right off. That's what I thought. So the flag mechanism can come out really easily if you need to service it. So with that removed, now I can go ahead and take off the apron pieces. Underneath the apron is just as filthy as always. And so this is what the playfield looks like after basically everything has been removed. And here's everything that I pulled out of the machine. You can see, especially on these posts, that everything here has just a good layer of dirt on it. And so it'll all need to be cleaned up. What's nice is that the plastics are in really good shape. There's no cracks or any severe wear on the plastics, so those are in good shape still. The flag mechanism, I'm going to take this apart a little bit more so that I can clean it, but it's nice that it's totally removable from the machine. And all the apron pieces are over here. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up these pieces, and then we'll clean up the playfield. So I have this little circuit board holder that's designed to hold PCBs in between these two clamps while you work on them. And I thought, I wonder if this thing can hold the flag mechanism while I take it apart. Well, the answer to that is yes. And if I'm careful enough, I can even turn it around like this and get access to the other side. So that'll make it easy to take this thing apart. And with all of those pieces cleaned up and taken care of, now I want to work on the playfield and cabinet some more. The next thing I want to do is rebuild the pop bumpers, because this one, there's a big chip missing out of the bumper skirt, and the bumper body housing has big chunks missing out of it, and the screw threads are completely cracked. I've already went ahead and rebuilt this bumper with a new bumper body and new skirt and cleaned out all the pieces. So now this one looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So here's what the dirty bumper looks like. You can see the bumper housing is all yellowed. There's big chunks missing out of the side. And the bumper skirt is very scratched. There's a piece missing out of it, and it just doesn't look that good. But the one I just rebuilt looks brand spanking new. You can see nice brand new bumper skirt and body, no cracked screw threads, and it looks really nice. So I'm going to be doing that to this bumper as well. So the first thing we'll do is remove the two screws that screw the bumper body into the playfield. So now the bumper is loose, but we have to go under the playfield to remove a few other things. So here's what you need to do if you want to remove the pop bumper assembly from on top of the playfield. You have to remove these three nuts. 1, 2, there's one way back there. 3, that will loosen up the entire bumper assembly. Then you'll want to take off these two nuts, one here, one there. That will loosen up the metal piece on the bumper here that pushes against the ball when the bumper bumps. And then you'll have to desolder the two wires for the light socket in the bumper, because you have to remove that in order for the bumper pieces to come out. And one of the wires is right there, so not too bad to get to. The other one is kind of tucked inside the assembly a little bit. I can see it kind of in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this loose so that I have a better access to this wire, and I'll go ahead and desolder those and pull the bumper parts out. And after removing those 5 nuts, this part of the bumper assembly comes free. So now if you look up here, you can see we have good access to the wires for the light socket, and after I desolder those, we can pull it straight out. And after that, you can go ahead and just pull this entire bumper right out. So what we'll do first is we'll pull out the light socket. There we go. Got to straighten out those legs a little bit to make that easy to pull out. So there's that. And then we can go ahead and pull the bumper body off of this little piece right here. So I'm gonna pull this off. It's pretty hard to get off because it's been on there for so long, but that just comes right off. Then the bumper skirt comes off and the bumper body can separate from the metal piece. So that is a bumper taken fully apart. So let's compare the old pieces versus the new ones. So the bumper body, you can see, has 2 big chunks missing out of the side of it. It shouldn't be like that. The screw threads are cracked, so the screws aren't going to tighten, and it just looks really bad. The same goes for the bumper skirt. The chip's missing out of it, as I said, and it really could just use a new one at this point. And here are new parts. So the bumper skirt, you can see, has no holes missing out of the side of it. And it looks really nice. I'll give it a little bit of a clean because these have been sitting in my parts stash for a long time. And this is our new bumper skirt. You can see it says Gottlieb on it. That doesn't matter. All of these bumper skirts are the same. So the Bally one and this one are identical. I am going to reuse this piece though because it has a little spring in it and it goes on the bottom side of the pop bumper body. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. Clean up these 2 pieces, and we'll reassemble our bumper. And so that is what our new bumper assembly looks like. Basically as good as new. So let's go ahead and reinstall it. And now would be a great time to clean where the bumper sits. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the bumper through, just like that. And what I'm going to do first is screw in the bumper body so that the mechanism is secure when I open the Playfield back up. So the first thing to do to put the bumper back together is to bend the legs of the light socket down and solder the wires back to them, which I've already done. So now we can go ahead and put the bumper assembly back into place. And so now we just need to screw in the 2 nuts that connect the coil and the metal part that goes down when the ball touches it, and screw in the 3 nuts to mount the assembly to the Playfield, and then it will be together. And so there are the 2 new bumpers. They look a ton better. They actually match the color of the flippers now. So new body, new skirt, and cleaned everything up, and I think they look very nice now. And so if I set the bumper caps over the top, that is what they're going to look like once the machine is fully assembled. So I think they look great. And so now everything on this machine has been sorted out. So let's go ahead and clean up the Playfield and the inside of the cabinet. And so that is part 3 of the Bally Flip Flop Pinball Restoration Series. The only thing left to do to this machine now is to repaint the back box back to its original white color and restore the artwork on the other side because that's been painted over as well. But I'm gonna have to put a hold on that because where I live, it's cold and rainy like 6 to 9 months out of the year. And with it being winter now, it's really freezing. And so the conditions aren't right for me to repaint this. I need to wait until summer because then it's gonna get hot enough where I can actually do that. So if I do a part 4, it's gonna be all about repainting this back box, but that's gonna have to wait until at least summer of 2026. So for right now, I'm gonna call this machine completely finished. It's been all mechanically and cosmetically restored except for the back box here, and it plays really nice now. So for now, this is going to be the end of the Flip Flop Pinball Restoration Series. I'm going to include some gameplay at the end of the video here so you can see how it plays. It's pretty fast for an EM, so it's actually a pretty fun game. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.